Start again with Rob Gorman, as I said, comes from Yass. So away he goes and we'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Gorman.
Thanks, Greg. You're doing a good job, did anyone tell you? The MC's like having sex with the Queen. Everyone wants the privilege, but no one wants to do it. I'm going to do one now of Murray Harton's poems. It's probably one of the most popular poems here on commercial radio, and Murray wrote this back probably 10 years ago, I think. Yeah, and it's called Turbulence. Now here's a tale of Billy Hayes from out in the Alice Springs. Wild young fella in his day, done some crazy things. Bucked bulls over fences, rode a cold up Ayers Rock. Now his legs weren't made for walking, they were made for riding stock. A legend round the rodeos from Ayler on to Broome. An untried horse at 6 AM, he'd have saddle broke by noon. No form of equine foolery was ever too game to try. There's only one thing spooked him. He was way too scared to fly. He said, hey, if I was meant to do it, I'd have feathers in a beak. You can fly there in a day and I'll ride and waste a week. They say they're safe as houses and mechanically they're sound. But if you don't see no rope or bridle, mate, he said, I'm sticking on the ground. But one day Billy got a phone call from his mate in Adelaide. Got his girl in trouble and the wedding cards will play. Billy, I don't care how you do it, whether you beg, steal or borrow. You've got to catch the plane, old mate, the big day's on tomorrow. Well, Billy really spat it and said, you dopey bloody coot. You know I'll jump on anything that's flying out of a chute. I've caught stallions that'll kill you. I've caught bulls that got off their brain. I didn't think I'd see the day I'd have to catch a bloody plane. So Billy legged it to the airport and he thought, now this is it. And the lady behind the counter said, where would you like to sit? He said, oh, you know that big black box thing you always seem to find? He said, you can sit me right in it if you wouldn't bloody mind. She just smiled politely and said, I'll take your bag. He said, I don't really think so. And by the way, it's called the swag. Well, Bill was sweating buckets trying the big bird cleared the strip. He had his seatbelt on that hard, he was bleeding from the hip. And then they finally settled out, he stopped trembling at the knees. He looked around and he thought to himself, this flying game's a breeze. Then he relaxed and sat back in his seat. Well, he couldn't sit that far because his swag was at his feet. And the captain crackled something. He asked the hostess what was said. Oh, you better buckle up there, sir. There's turbulence ahead. Turbulence? What's that? She said it's pockets caused by heat. If it gets severe, it will throw you from your seat. Throw me, I'll be buggered. So he sat his seat right back, put his legs around the swag, and put his left hand through the strap. He pulled down his Akubra. He was ready now to ride, and things got pretty bumpy. And he said, outside. Well, the planes he dropped 1,000 feet rose up 500 more. His head hit the ceiling and he gave a mighty roar. I've rode all through the territory and never come unstuck, so give it all you've got, Big Burt, and buck, you bastard, buck. Well, the passengers were all screaming in fear of certain death, but he just hopped and roared till he nearly ran out of breath. You would have thought the canvas swag was welded to his arse, and before the ringer knew it, he bucked up business class. There seemed no way to tame the creature. It had 10 gears in reverse, and it didn't worry Billy. He just bucked on through to first. He'd been upside down and inside out, and his mongrel mount from hell, and he yelled out to the pilot, for Christ's sake, ring the bell. He was bleeding from the bugle. He had cuts above both eyes. Only that I was standing there, he thought I was telling lies. He'd been upside down and inside out, and done backflips and triple spins. You might have seen some rides in time, but hands down Billy wins. Now the flight returned to normal. He was flat out on the deck, still stuck to his swag, but he looked a bloody wreck. Then he stood and cheered and raised his hat. He said, I've had some tough trips in my time, he said, but never one like that. An 8-second spin at Alice proves a made of sturdy stuff. He said, I was up there for a minute, I reckon that's enough. Well, the first class folk, they were dumbstruck at that crazy ringer's feat. But he just grabbed a crownie and walked back to his seat. Now, years have gone, years have passed, and Billy since had to give the bucking game away. Too many broken bones and dusty trails. for far too little pay. Now, planes are not a problem. He'd rather fly than ride. And when you asked his maiden voyage, his chest puffs out with pride. You can give me all them Rocky Neds and that old chainsaw bloke. I'll ride them both without a rope and roll a bloody smoke. There's cowboys out there think they're hot. But face it, heat, till they've ridden time on Turbulence at 30,000 feet. Thank you. Thanks, Greg.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse.
Oops! I did it again, baby. Yeah!
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye for now.